if when you saw the title of the speech, you started wondering whether this was going to be another church program, maybe people like me that use glasses would get hands laid upon them and they will be able to see without using glasses. Or maybe I'll bring along holy water and sprinkle on everybody. Then you're not alone. As I stand before you, I also wonder what I was thinking when I gave the speech that title. So last year, I discovered something that startled me. It was Jerry Seinfeld, an American actor and comedian, that brought to our notice the results of a survey. That survey discovered that an average person's greatest fear is the fear of giving a speech in public. And somehow, this ranked even higher than death. The implication of that is that at a funeral, the average person would rather be the guy in the coffin than have to stand up to give an eulogy. And do you know what even made it unsettling for me? I could relate with the results of that survey. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
When I was in secondary school, I could not make an announcement in my class of less than 50 students. In fact, if I was narrating an incident to a friend and I noticed that about 3 people had kept quiet and started listening to what I was saying, I would immediately keep short. I would start afraid of public speaking. But I'll ask you a question today. It is the same question I asked myself when I decided to join Toastmasters International about a year ago. Are you a businessman or woman with the intention of commanding a large market in your line of business? Are you a professional that has the dream of getting to the peak of your career sooner or later? If your answer is yes, then that makes 2 of us. And it only means one thing. It means that public speaking, wondrous public speaking skills are an absolute necessity for you and I. And if you don't believe me, ask the Dangotes, Oprahs, and Zuckerbergs of this world. If this is the case, if we know this, why then are we so afraid of public speaking? I've identified 2 reasons. The first one is that we know that speaking is different from talking. How do I mean? All of us talk. All of us can talk. And all of us do talk. I mean, it is very easy for you to face the person beside you and say something. But when the table topics master calls you up here and tells you to make a speech of about 1 to 2 minutes, you get scared, you get jittery. What is the difference? That is the time that you are required not just to talk, but to speak. It is very easy for you, it comes naturally, to give your friend the gist of what happened yesterday and the day before, and even the day before you were born. But when the managing director directs a question to you at one of the monthly meetings, you stop to think twice, because you know that that is an example of a situation where you are required to speak and not just talk. At that moment, anything you say could make or mar you. So you think twice. And that is because speaking requires a level of preparation that might not necessarily be needed for talking. And that would lead me to the second reason. The second reason is that most of the time, we are simply not prepared. The founder of Toastmasters International, Ralph Smedley, said that the unprepared speaker has a right to be afraid. Then you will ask me, why should I? And how do I prepare when I do not even have public speaking events? And I will answer you. You should prepare because preparation for public speaking is preparation for greatness. How should you prepare? I'll give you one of the tips that one of my undergraduate lecturers gave to us to polish our public speaking skills. So in the university I attended, the sports complex functioned more as a religious center than as a sports center. So he told us to go to the sports center, and then we'll pick a topic of our choice, and we'll address the football pitches and the basketball courts as our imaginary listeners, and just start talking. So I looked at this man and said, "You mean I will just go to the sports complex and give a speech on God knows what to the football pitch and to the basketball court when other people are playing? Like, no, when I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I haven't do that." But the funny thing is that madness that I rejected years ago is what I have now embraced in order to become a good public speaker. That is what I did if I could come before you today to give this speech. And it is what all great public speakers have to do. It is what Barack Obama does. It is what Folarin does. It is what Toastmaster John does. And it's also what you have to do. Now, Toastmasters International is a very generous organization. And it has come with prescriptions for us to be able to heal the fear that we have of public speaking. The healing sessions come in the form of Toastmasters meetings that take place twice a month. And the prescription is for you to stand up at each of those sessions and address your real audience, not an imaginary one this time around. The onus now lies on you to register to attend these healing sessions and follow the prescription. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I welcome you to today's healing session. The Toastmasters.